Good morning. I hope everybody's doing okay. It's Saturday, the 19th of October, 2019. Hope you had a good week. A few update about things with my brother. I know I kind of ranted last week about my brother and something. Thank you for everybody for the kind words. Help me to hold on and stuff. I truly appreciate it. Um, the My brother thing. I had to take off a few hours on Friday from work to straighten out his Social Security aspect of his thing because he's entitled now to SSI. So it's not Social Security per se, it's SSI. That's what they call it because he can't work because of his condition and stuff. So he gets SSI, and we had to go to the office, the main office in the Bronx. We got there early. It opens up at 9 o'clock, but actually they were actually taking people online and they were taking numbers beforehand. So, but relatively speaking, for government bureaucracy, it's a lot better than the um, license place DMV, which is like a nightmare. This place was a little better, a little better organized. We got there. We got there like 8:38 and got online, and they let us in relatively quick. We didn't have to wait outside that long, which is good. Although the guy was letting people groups in at a time and stuff. He was then stop people and let people fit into the elevator, and then it's a small, relatively small elevator, then let them go up and stuff on the second floor. And I'm walking with my brother, and he's waving everybody by, and I get through, and then I'm getting ready to go in the elevator. I turn around, my brother's that behind me. And I'm going, what the hell? And I turn around, and then I wait upstairs for him to come upstairs with the next group. And I said, Kenny, where, I don't know if he wasn't paying attention or the guard didn't see it, or maybe because he was standing behind me. I should have grabbed him. Maybe it was my fault because I should have grabbed him and said, no, I'm here for him. So it kind of makes sense for us to go in this group. So maybe the guy thought, the guard thought we were separate because he was standing behind me instead of side by side with me. But anyway, and then something else funny happened in the SSI thing office. I get up to, he gets up to go to the bathroom, and you know, and the lady comes aside, sit next to me. I go, well, no, lady, my brother's sitting here, so she sits somewhere else. And then I get up to go to the bathroom, okay, and then I come back and somebody's sitting in my seat, and I tell my brother, I said, so I have to sit on the other side of my brother. I said, why didn't you just tell the guy that I was sitting right there? He looked at me like I'm crazy. That didn't occur to him to tell the guy not to sit there because my brother was sitting there. So I thought that was weird and funny. But anyway, we had an interview. We had to kind of wait uh, almost like 2 hours before. They interviewed. We ran it relatively quick, and they said, "You want to stay for an interview?" And they said there were 9 people ahead of us. And I said, "Well, let me see if can I get appointments." She said, "Well, there's no appointments for the next 30 days, so no choice but to wait." So I said, "No, okay, let me wait." And there were 9 people ahead of us, and like I said, we waited almost 2 hours. Yeah, because I think we got over there, see them. They call that ticket number because we get a ticket number. You got to log in to the system, to the kiosk, and so they have a social security with his social security number. They give you a ticket, and you sit and wait. And they called us relatively quickly, probably right within 15 minutes. And we were back there, and I explained the situation to them. They said, "Well, you got to stay for an interview and stuff, straighten the stuff out." So we waited almost 2 hours, but it was okay. And then we went and we straightened everything out in terms of making me his payee and finding out. And now, they give him like a sort of like a bank card. There's no check per se. They give him a bank card, and they put the money on the bank card every month. So, and the lady told us that she thinks that his card was sent to the place where he was staying before. So my sister and him are going to go there on Tuesday. If the card is not there, uh, we're going to have to. There's a number 800 number you can call to get a replacement card. But basically, the money's going to go on his card every month. Okay, and I have to make sure that he doesn't have more than $2,000 at one time on the card because they want him to use that money, of course, obviously for his living expenses and stuff. Okay, so I'm going to have to, excuse me, monitor it because I'm not charging rent living with me. So eventually, I think the plan is to move him to a place where he can, where he can have his own space and stuff, and he can, I guess they can charge him. They'll charge him rent, monthly rent and all that stuff, and pay for his nurse. Because my brother needs a nurse. We were having in fact, there was a day nurse interviewing yesterday with my sister. They have given him a nurse because he have to have a nurse to cook for him and stuff, and take him to appointments and all that stuff. So a nurse to be with him for like 8 hours out of the day, which is what he needs. And so, and plus we also found out from the doctor who visited it as well that he wasn't getting the right amount of insulin, because we've been testing his blood since he got out of the hospital, and it's been high all the time. No matter what we do, it's been high all the time, no matter what he eats. So they told us he wasn't getting enough insulin. Okay, he's supposed to test his blood before he eats, and then take 7 units from the yellow pen of the insulin, and then eat. And then at the end of the day, take 25 units from the gray pen. Okay, so that's what he's supposed to do. So we did that finally yesterday. We did that. So starting today, he's going to do it the 3 times a day before he eats, and then also, like I said, at night. And he has to learn how to do it himself, because I'm at work 5 days out of the week, so I'm not here. And then Saturday I'm here in the morning, but I usually go out to the movies, and then but Sunday I stay in, and starting tomorrow he's gonna stay in too as well, because usually he likes to go out and go to my sister's house, but he's gonna have to learn how to give himself the shot himself. So tomorrow I'm gonna try to start teaching him he's gonna have to draw his blood, which is I learned it by watching my stepfather doing it to him. So he's have to learn how to draw blood on himself. Take the machine and test the blood, which that part's kind of easy, and then putting on the needle thing, and then sticking yourself and pressing. Yeah, so he's gonna have to learn how to do that to himself. Okay, which is better for him, because I won't always be here. So, and out of the week, so it's better that he know how to do that. So start tomorrow, relatively, he's gonna have to learn how to do that. And anyway, so we got his money situation straightened out. And him and my sister, when they go Tuesday to his former place, if they don't have it, he'll get a new card, and then we'll take him shopping so he can get a bunch of stuff that he needs. But relatively speaking, at least his money situation is, with the SSI, it's been straightened out for the most part, so that's good. And now he has to start taking the insulin regularly and start learning how. And I'm gonna see if I can at work make a chart for him, so to remind him, like to put on a wall, like a post-it sign about the 3 times that you got to take the insulin. So before each meal, take your insulin. And if you go out, like I said, if he goes to my sister's house, take your insulin with you. You got to take your insulin with you. Take the needle with you, and take the blood testing kit with you. And if you at my sister's house, you're gonna eat down there, take it with you. You're gonna have to do that and learn how to do it. Okay, so like I said, my stepfather knows how to do it, and he was showing us. And last night I did it. I gave him the insulin when he came home before he ate. Tested his blood, gave him insulin before he ate, and then at night I gave him the 25 units of the gray pen, from the gray pen insulin. So he's good. Now this morning I'm going to the movies, so today, before I go to the movies, right now it's 8 o'clock officially. Around 9 o'clock, if he's still asleep, I'll make sure he gets up at 9 o'clock, and because he's supposed to go today with my sister to test. She's going to test his eyes, because she thinks maybe she doesn't know if he can see that well, but she's going to go take him to the eye doctor and see if they can test him and see if he needs glasses, and then he can have glasses and stuff. But I'm going to tell her, well, like I told her, because I probably won't see him again until it's dinner time. So, but for lunch, so take your pen with you, take the blood testing kit and the needle, and when you go with my sister, because if you eat with her and you're eating lunch with her, you got to test your blood and give yourself the 7 units of insulin, and then you eat, and then he got to take his meds. Excuse me. Excuse me. Take his meds, while he eats. So I'll make sure I text my sister to make sure that he brings his yellow, and I'll tell him before I leave, you got to take your insulin with you, take the needle, and take your pills with you, especially if you're going to be hanging out with my sister today for the most part around lunchtime. You got to or either way, if you come back here, because he has the key now, that's another thing. We had bought a key for my front door and the inner door. It's like one of his master key things, master lock keys, and he had one. I gave him one a couple of weeks ago, and he broke. I don't know. He snapped it in the lock by trying to force it too hard, and he broke. So he got a new. We got another key, okay, and that key he's gonna pay me for because I paid for the first key, and this second key we got. I gave it to him last night. He came yesterday, and I put it on his key thing, and I told him I took him downstairs and showed him again. I said, do not force the key in the door. Okay, if it doesn't work, okay, you take it out, you twist it back, and take it out, and then turn it around, put it back in, and turn, push the door, turn the lock back, take the key out, and keep going. So I told him, do not force it, okay, because that's how it broke the last time. So do not force the key, okay. Stick it in the lock, turn it. If it doesn't turn it back, pull it out, flip it around, put it in, and then turn it, and then usually it works. Exactly. But I tried it both ways. It works on both sides. I know my stepfather was saying it only works on that one side, but it works on both sides because I tried it last night. But sometimes it does when you stick it in and you try to turn it, it won't go. So you got to turn it back, take it out, flip it around, put it in, and then you go. So hopefully he listens to that lesson because I told him numerous times last night. So don't break the key because the third one you're going to pay for. Again, he's paying me my $75 for that second key because they're going to add it to my rent. So you got to pay for that. But anyway, enough of my ramblings. Today I'm going to go see. I was planning on seeing Zombieland and Maleficent, but Maleficent is the only one that's playing. For some reason, it seems like Zombieland is not playing. It's playing at Cinemark theaters. There's no Cinemark theaters in the East Coast that I know of. Because I got to look again because I was looking last night before I went to sleep, and I was looking for Zombieland, show times, and usually it directs you to the theaters that I usually go to. I usually go either 34th Street. I mostly go to 42nd Street, Times Square, but it's not playing in those theaters. So I don't know if maybe it's rolling to Cinemax theaters first, and then it's going to eventually get to the AMC theaters. But I thought that was real weird. I got to Google it and see why that is because that's the same thing that happened with. I think that movie that Chad Boseman had that came out a couple of weeks ago, where he was a cop hunting those two robbers and stuff. It wasn't playing in any theaters around here for some reason. Zombieland, you think that would be a world that would be it would play in a lot of theaters because that's a mainstream movie, sequel to a movie that everybody wants to see. So I don't know why it's not playing in any of the AMC theaters or the other one. I forgot the other brand theater that's over here, but the Regal Theater Cinemas is not. I got to look again. I'm gonna do another search because all I found was Maleficent playing in the AMC theaters, but I couldn't find Zombieland too, which I thought was very weird. Okay, maybe that's a regional thing, and maybe it's gonna open up wider next week or something. I thought it's just very weird that it wouldn't do that because that's just around the second time I've seen that happen. But anyway, I'm gonna see Maleficent. Maybe Zombieland, if I can find a theater that's close, that's either 34th or 42nd. That's where I usually go, either 42nd or 34th Street. And I don't see it playing in those theaters, which is very weird. Again, that's extremely weird. But anyway, I'll Google it and see if it rolls out to AMC theaters maybe next week or something. But it's very weird. But anyway, so look for my review of Maleficent or Zombieland if I can find if it's playing in the theaters. I gotta do a Google search or something. But anyway, and so also I gotta watch the Titans episode 7, which is called Bruce Wayne. So I'm very interested in seeing it because I love the way episode 6 ended. The one with Connor was called Connor about Connor Kent. Okay, that one ended in a nice cliffhanger. That was a nice origin story for him. The actor did a very good job playing Connor Kent and stuff. I like the actor who played the scientist that was helping him, and so that was good. So hopefully it's from Bruce Wayne. It's not Ian Glenn, right? That's his name. I think that played Game of Thrones, played Captain Friendzone. So he plays, so he gets the spotlight in this one. And the way it ended the last episode, I'm assuming that's who Dick Grayson turns to try to help Connor. Because if you watch the episode, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you want to watch my video, shameless plug. Look on this channel. You see that video, my review of Connor episode 6 with spoilers. Also, I have episode 5, which was Deathstroke. I rendered it, and for some reason, every time I kept trying to load it, put it in the render it kept erroring out. So I don't know if I'll see if I can maybe render it, put it in Wondershare Filmora again, and see if I can render it again. Maybe I'll get to it, then I'll put it up, even though that's episode passed. But I want to upload that so people, see that review of that, even though that'll be real extremely late. But it'll be sort of like a lost episode review in a way. But anyway, so look for my review of Titans too. So I'll watch Titans when I get back from the movie theater and do my movie shopping, my food shopping, and I gotta pay a few bills. I gotta pay my back after this video. I gotta pay my I got a bill online for my doctor visit, for one of my doctor's visits. So I gotta pay that, and I gotta pay my credit card bill. I gotta pay my cable / telephone bill. Gotta pay those today. Gotta pay those bills, and put my clothes in the cleans and stuff. And and also probably next Saturday, I'm probably gonna have to take my brother somewhere, and like I said, now that he can officially get some money, buy him some clothes and stuff. He's gonna get a coat. I think my oldest brother's gonna buy him a coat, and he needs some towels, and he needs some underwear and stuff, and socks and stuff. And like I said, it's winter time, so he needs maybe some boots too as well. So I know my sister said she'd probably take him to the mall and buy him a bunch of stuff, which is par for the course, which makes sense. Yeah, she probably take him. She can do that because, like I said, she's on disability, so she has relative sometime free time, although not lately. Like I said, this weekend she's going to relax because she just did a stressful move with her and her ex-husband. They moved from one apartment to the next, and she had to do a lot of stuff on her own with my niece and stuff. And so she's tired. She says she's checking out for this weekend. So I said, okay, enjoy yourself and relax and stuff, because she was here with the visiting nurse for my brother. So she does a lot for my brother, and she says he needs a break, and I don't blame her. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do, like I said, tomorrow he's going to stay in, and I'm going to try to get him to do the blood test and shoot himself up with the insulin. So let him get used to doing it, so he can get used to doing it before he eats and stuff. So that way, if he does it and gets used to it, which my sister said he used to do it when he lived with her all those years ago, then you don't have to bother me, as long as he knows that. We just got to make sure he knows the proper way to do it, and that's what. Hence, my sister's getting him glasses, because she thinks maybe he can't see that well, so maybe the glasses will help that. But he has to learn how to start giving himself the insulin shots, because, like I said, I won't be here during the day. And for the most part, my stepfather, he could give it a shot to him, but it's better that he does it on his own, my brother, than depend on my stepfather, because my stepfather, he has his own doctor appointments and stuff, and he goes out on his own to see his lady friend and stuff, so he's not always here. So it's better for my brother Kenny to do his own insulin shots to get used to it. The only thing is I'm worried about him is that his memory ain't so good, and maybe he won't remember to do that. But that's why I'm trying to see if I can make that little insulin sign for him and hang it on the wall in his room in there, and so that way he can remember, because he'll see it all the time, and remember to test his blood, then take the insulin, and then eat. So you got to do those 3 things: take his blood, test his blood, give himself the insulin shot, and then eat, okay, before each meal. And then at the end of the day, I can give him the 26 units, but he should do that himself anyway, so he gets used to it with the gray pen, so he gets used to doing it. Okay, but anyway, hope everyone have a great weekend. I think it was relatively warm right now. They said I think it's 62. I think I saw something on when I flipped, and my TV was dimming for a little bit. I don't know, it was dimming for a bit, but they said it was something to do with the plug and stuff, maybe the plug. So I went back and kind of adjusted the plug in the back of the TV, and now it seems to be holding it. I thought it was weird that it was doing it, because it wasn't doing it when I was switched to my formula box and I switched to regular TV, it wasn't dimming, but the internet, the connection on my for my TV, for my because I'm using my TV as my monitor, uh, it was dimming. The internet was dimming, which is very weird. So anyway, it seems to stop doing that. So good because I didn't want to adjust the settings, even though it tells you like turn off the energy saver thing. I didn't want to do that because everything else was perfectly bright. Like I said, the on my formula box, the regular cable was bright, so it was just this internet was very weird, really weird. Anyway, hope everyone have a great weekend. Stay safe, be well. Okay. Also, uh, a fellow YouTuber asked me because for that movie, John Wick 3, I emailed I think Lionsgate about that, and I haven't heard one thing. But I'm gonna try to do a search on my internet and see if they responded, or maybe I have to shoot them another email because he said if you email them, they'll send you the right code and stuff because they had this wacky thing where you had to scan the code to get the digital code, which scan the bar, which I think was stupid. Instead of just giving you the code. But anyway, that's enough rambling about that. So yeah, look for my review of Maleficent and maybe Zombieland if I can find that it's playing anywhere I'm close to, and my Blu-ray update video and my review of Titans episode 7, which is entitled Bruce Wayne. So look for those tomorrow. Hope everyone have a great weekend. Stay safe, be well. And this is Trepacer saying so long. Take care.